Alright, my juicy lovers. It's MJ from Ultra Love TV. Really happy to be here with you guys. So, I do this thing, it's called tarot, and I read cards and I share the messages. And when people book private readings, they're usually just reflective of what people already know. So, if we're going through pretty like cray times and we're really not sure, and there's a few different options on the path ahead, sometimes the cards can just offer insight and clarity, which Intuition is already actually highlighting. My intention for the tarot reading is to offer this community divine guidance and loving clarity. I've been doing tarot for many years now, and yeah, I do it purely intuitively. So it's like genuine info comes in, and then cards get pulled, and we share the messages. So that's a little blurb about tarot and intuition. And if you want to know more, go check it out at Ultra Love or YouTube and internet. Like, there's a lot of valuable information, and there's also a lot of razzmatazz. That's where discernment. Oh my God, I'm talking away, you guys. I talk a lot sometimes about this stuff. I think I'm passionate about it. I think like our world just so much needs like love and connected people that, yeah, I speak of this connection, right? And look, High Priestess. So High Priestess energy is like, there's a few different ways to interpret it. There's, of course, we're connected, to be a High Priestess, you're an intuitive, clairvoyant type, or oracle, or seer. And so you are absolutely connected to your own power, right? And when I feel this coming up, there's like a little bit of a rebalancing act happening for you. For some of you guys, you've actually been through like a major battle with the moon and Five of Wands. Like, oh, I think there's just been so much processing that I am almost like, oh God, when's it gonna end? Battling, and the battle is coming from lies and secrets and deception and all that. Moon reverse, like, and because like in this energy, the reason your intuition is so supreme is like you're not gonna be able to necessarily see clearly in this Shazam. It's nighttime, right? And if it's a reverse, I'd almost say it's not a full moon, it's a new moon. You can't see shit, and there's a whole bunch of like people in the shadows, like conflict, inner conflict or otherwise. Yeah, this is so profound. It's like your way out is your emotional connection. It's that expression of how our emotions are an internal navigation system, right? And yet culturally and societally and systematically through the ages, we've all, had a somewhat disconnect from the emotion, or yeah, like just crack on, right? And now we're finding in this day and age that there's profound generational ancestral healing that can take place in our emotional body. It's just that it requires time, and it's usually a little ugly because like crying can be quite like you just plasma schnot everywhere. And also because culturally people are like, I often explain this to clients, whether on a yoga retreat or personally, is that the fact that we grew up in a culture that when people cry, most people say, what's wrong? Is a clear indication that our mind thinks that when we cry, there's something wrong with us, which is really destructive because emotions are natural, healthy. If something hurts you, it probably warrants having a good cry or expressing your anger. The fact that nobody's allowed to express anything, nobody's allowed to feel anything, and if you do, you get canceled, and if it doesn't fit into what we think is correct, then you get and it's like, to me, it's like you just gotta have to do it for yourself, like there's not so much of our constructs, it's not like there's some external deity coming to save us. We are our own savior. There isn't some magical Harry Potter coming to take down Voldemort, we in our own being have to conquer the inner conflict within ourselves. And if we're not going to be responsible, by gosh, then we might end up with leadership that isn't great, So, holla Shazam. Know yourself, to thine own self be true. Feel those emotions. The Queen of Cups or the King of Cups, you know, these are very balanced people. And for some of you as well, there's this Two of Pentacle. You could be, and there's another two. Intriguing. Okay, then for some of you, there's definitely like a choice. It feels like there's genuinely like a choice between two paths. Ugh, I heard this in a thing earlier as well. Like the Phoenix energy, like so many of us, I feel, are simply just in that Phoenix energy. Like the fire is burning. It hurts like hell. You're just gonna have to stick it out because this is where you are. Eventually you'll feel the freedom, you know? Eventually you'll feel more of a release. For now, you're really having to dig in and find your power, High Priestess, and the Magician. For some of you, you guys are juggling. You could be juggling your working life and your personal life. You could be juggling your own mental conflict and the conflict outside of you, you know, but there's definitely like a juggling effect. Maybe you're budgeting. Maybe you're trying to reassess your budget, right? So that you can invest, or so that you can make the decision that you're wanting to make. The Magician over here is like looking back over his shoulder. I mean, it's just natural, isn't it, for us to be processing stuff that's gone on in the past while we're here now. This is a really interesting read. I like, genuinely, for some of you, I just feel you're like on the precipice, or you're teetering. You're teetering this energy of like the point of no return. High Priestess, Magician, Phoenix energy. Phoenix energy is here, and the Queen of Cups is in the upright, and the High Priestess is in the upright. You know, it's almost like just, okay, yeah, you have some decisions to make, and yeah, you might be going through some conflict or some healing, or there could still be some people or energies in your reality which are super duper uncomfortable. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot of like seeming betrayal, and like you can't see for shit. But this is like a fault line. This is like something that's going to split off and never come back together again. And then on the other side, what you have is the Phoenix and this Queen of Cups. So trust, okay? Even if you're traversing some pretty icky, uncomfortable territory, you really do have, or it's like your higher self, you know, your spirit is sort of saying, just stick it through. One of these days, you're just going to step and suddenly be like, oh, I did it. You know, the Queen of Cups, you are in your power. You are a Phoenix rising. You're not. And like, I would dare say as well, like, you and your people, or you and your crew, whatever, you're holding space for this healing, and it's happening faster than what you may think. There's a lot of changey energy. There's a lot of major arcana in this reading, and there's a lot of 5. So just be aware. 5 is representative of change and mastery, or, you know, the crux right in the middle. Everything's changing around. Plus the 5 as a number has like a rocking tilt. So it does. We can move. We can be. And this is, I would say, we've been in this sort of energy building up to 2021, which is a year number 5. But we've been in this cruxy, changey energy now for years, just building up faster and faster. And so the global changes are just, I would say, splitting so many people apart. And that's, I'm really feeling that and seeing that is just the quiet, and taking quiet whenever one needs. Like, yeah. I feel like for some of you, there could be some clarity or light-filled inspiration coming through. I want to try to make this like super duper positive, but there's some shadows in this energy. So like this, okay, but this is where it is super positive. Like, okay, there's this High Priestess, Magician, Queen of Cups, really, really powerful energy, but there's still probably some stormy type of emotional alchemical healing that is wanting to take place, like the lighthouse, that lighthouse like coming through. But then these shadow aspects, like it's like the smoke and mirrors of your old trauma or your old life or something that happened back then, like the past. And in the here now, you're endeavoring to heal all that and shine out all the shadow, right? All the shit. Super fun. All right, my livers. So there's a little read for you. Have a wonderful day, you guys. Feel free to reach out, book a private reading, or just say a hella, 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 hella. Have an awesome day, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace out.